Hi and hello everyone. My name is Siti Nur Fatiha, and before I start with my speech, I want you to take a second and look at the device you're using to watch this speech. Are you using your phone, tablet, or a laptop, or any devices that contain lithium ion batteries? They're small, right? Now imagine scaling that batteries up to 300 to 500 kilograms and put it inside a car. We've been told that this is the key to save our planet. But what if I told you that the green revolution is being built on the foundation of ecological destruction and carbon debt? I understand that we all want to do our part for the environment, right? And electric cars seems like the perfect solution as they promise zero emission, greener future and cleaner air. But before we jump on the electric car bandwagon, let's pause and really think about whether they're living up to their environmental promises or not. I know that I may not be an expert, but I've spent considerable amount of time researching the environmental impacts of electric transportation, and I believe that it is crucial for all of us to critically examine the narratives surrounding electric vehicles. So today, I'm going to debunk the common green beliefs that we all may have towards electric cars and how it is actually not good for the environment. So as you can see here, the EV sales are increasing every single year. And what can we tell about that and how it affect our environment? So let's jump into the first point. The first is electric cars produce less carbon dioxide. Well, in reality, the mining metal to produce the most important component of an electric car, which is batteries, carries notable environmental impact and social consequences. Metals that are required for the batteries like lithium, cobalt, and nickel would somehow release carbon dioxide during the mining. There is a research conducted by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They reveal that the emission generated during the production of batteries for electric cars surpass those emitted during the production of batteries for conventional cars. According to Chadhori 2021, depending on the country of production, there is going to be an extra 30 to 40% in production emission, which is mostly from the battery production alone. Plus, batteries that are made in older gigafactory in China are usually powered by fossil fuels. So EVs that are built with batteries from existing factories are still going to have a larger carbon footprint. And lastly, the environmental consequences of battery production result from the release of toxic fumes during the mining. For example, sulfur dioxide and cyanide. Sulfur dioxide can cause acid rain, and cyanide is a toxic substance that is not good for our respiratory system. So when we buy this type of cars to feel good about ourselves and the fact that I'm doing something good for the environment, we are actually inadvertently supporting the release of sulfur dioxide that causes acid rain. And other than that, according to a report by Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Climate Lab, 1 ton of mined lithium emits nearly 15 tons of carbon dioxide, according to Kalele 2024. Imagine 15 tons times by how many billions sales of electric cars each year. So in short, after the production, yes, electric vehicles have lower carbon emission than petrol powered vehicles, but the process to mine, refine, and assemble the electric vehicles, which is the battery, still environmentally damaging. So speaking of toxic fumes, this leads us to our next point, which is electric electric cars are believed to reduce greenhouse effect. What people don't know is that the backbone of electric vehicles, which is the batteries, aren't readily available in every country that produces this type of car. So how do we do it? So we have to ship them. And that shipping comes with a price tag, which is the greenhouse effect. Every mile of those material travel pumps more carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. And transporting these batteries around leaves a bigger carbon footprint than the usage of petrol cars. There is a study compared electric cars with regular ones and found that 46% of the emission of electric cars come while making them, while for regular cars it's only 26%. And almost 4 tons of greenhouse gas, which is the carbon dioxide, is released during the production process of a single electric car. Chadhori 2021. Imagine 4 tons of carbon greenhouse effect for one car times by how many millions of cars being sold every single year. And currently, global consumers are increasingly embracing electric cars, with sales projected to surge from 3 million vehicles in 2017 to 23 million by 2030, according to UNCTAD 2020. So 23 million in 2030 times by 4 tons of greenhouse gas emission. That's a lot. So I think it's ironic that we're trying to save a planet with electric cars, but in the process, we're actually adding to the very problem we're trying to solve. Okay, so moving to the last point, which is electric cars are gentler to the natural habitat. Electric cars' batteries contain hazardous materials, like I mentioned, lithium, cobalt, and nickel, which can contaminate ecosystem and pose risk to wildlife and even human health. And once these toxic substances enter the food chain, it will contaminate plants and water resources that animals and humans rely on for survival. And animals may ingest these toxins directly or through contaminated food and water, leading to various health problems and even death. The sheer volumes of batteries from electric cars being disposed in landfills can lead to environmental pollution and contribute to the depletion of natural resources. Well, a 2021 states that currently there are less than 5% of lithium-ion batteries that are being recycled in Europe and in USA. And this is because electric cars battery can't be recycled as easily as paper or glass. So dumping them as a waste is such a bad idea. These batteries may disrupt the habitat of flora and fauna in the area if it is not properly managed. So if these batteries are buried, metals like cobalt, nickel can leak out and contaminate the soil and groundwater, threatening our ecosystem, according to Jacoby 2019. So after all this effect to the environment, what should I do to still save our planet? So I'm asking you to do 3 things today to move beyond the electric vehicles illusion. So firstly is to shift your daily habits by utilizing public transport as much as you can, especially if you're living in Klang Valley, where public transport is very accessible to everyone. A single bus or train replaces dozens of individual car batteries and is far greener than any electric vehicles. Secondly, if you own a petrol car, make sure to just use the car to its full potential. So there's no need for you if you think that, I'm doing something for the environment, so I should change to electric cars. No, if you're using petrol car, keep using them until they can't be used anymore. And lastly, if you want to buy an electric car in the future, which I can't stop you from doing so, and it is your choice, make sure that the car comes with a battery passport. So battery passport is a digital document that keeps track of every detail, such as where the raw materials come from, how the battery was made, and how it is used, and how it will be recycled or how it was recycled. To make this new battery that you're using for your car. Because starting in February 2027, every new electric vehicle's battery that are made in the European Union will need to come with battery passport to ensure more transparency and sustainability. So make sure you be a conscious consumer and not just blind buying all the cars. So to conclude, I think it is crucial to acknowledge that electric cars, while touted as eco-friendly, still present more challenges than the solution. And in short, claims that say electric cars produce less carbon monoxide, reduce greenhouse effect, and gentler to the natural habitat are just misconception about electric cars. And if we actually want our city to be green, we actually should make our cities walkable and safe for the people to cycle around, not using electric cars. So, final remarks from me is make the city for the people, not for cars.